Right. Good morning and welcome to tomorrow's Church of God Sabbath services. For our first song, if everybody would please turn to page number 109 and stand. As soon as I get there, I'll tell you what it is. We're going to Sing Praises and Rejoice. Page number 109. If the choir's ready. Oh, they are.
Salvation
great start. For our next song, if we'll turn over to page number 25, we'll sing Glorious Things of Thee Are Spoken, after which we'll get Mr. Johnny Padilla to come do our opening prayer. Page number 25. Thank you. And now for opening prayer today, Mr. Johnny Padilla.
Our Heavenly Merciful Father, come before you on this Sabbath day you set aside for us, Father, to gain understanding and also, Father, we'll come here also to praise you, to give you honor, and we do fall short of your glory, Father. And Father, also we sing to you and also to your Son. Father, nobody have seen you or heard your voice, Father, but we heard in past time your Son's voice being heard of and his messages. But here with us, Father, you brought us the words, and all we have to do is find the truth from them. And so we do ask to inspire each one of us, and also for those listening in, inspire them also, and also asking to be with Joe, inspire him and use him as a vessel as he leads this Bible study, and so much words are given there, Father, in your scripture that we're asking to understand what has been shown to us. And also for those who are under infirmity, asking for divine intervention, for asking for healing or comfort for them. And your ways are of perfection, Father, always. And in all this we ask in your Son's name. Amen.
Thank you, Johnny. All right, a couple of announcements this morning. It says, good morning, and welcome to tomorrow's Church of God, not yesterday's Church of God. And welcome to all of our online viewers. Today we're not going to have a main message, but you get me for a double time. So no scriptures today. But if we did, so next week when we do have scriptures, you can go to our website, which is www.thetcog.com. Select audio and video, then scripture handouts, and you can find the scriptures right there to print out and follow along with next week. And while you're at our website, you can watch us live, but not only there, you can also watch us live on Rumble, Facebook, YouTube, and Roku. And if you are looking for us on Roku, we are under The Sabbath Channel. And if you watch us on Facebook or YouTube, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like and subscribe button. Robert, how many did we have last week? Did you see? No. See, I made Linda go ahead and do it. So if you would hit that like and subscribe button, what that does, it helps get the word out, helps increase our online presence, and puts us higher in the algorithms that make us available to everybody else. If you would like one of our 2025 calendars, you better get it quick. We are now in August. Simply send your address and an email to tomorrowtcog@gmail.com. You can also, while you're there, or while you send an email, just say, hey, go ahead and send me a copy of that 2026. We don't have them yet, but that'll get you on the list, right? So we don't want to run out too quickly. We should be working on it pretty quick. I think we should probably have them done by November timeframe, maybe after the feast. Oh, even before? Oh, yeah, if we have them before, we can pass them out at the feast. No. You can also download a copy of this 2025 calendar in PDF form, also from our website, which is, again, www.thetcog.com. Select Literature, then Calendars. And now my weekly disclosure. The dates in the calendar are subject to change based on the new moon physical observations. But I think so far we've been good. I actually did want to take a look at this because I was looking at the moon the last couple of nights trying to figure out when the full moon is. Was it last night? Let me see. It says full moon last night, so you're right on target. So is our calendar. For the Bible study today, we're going to be covering Isaiah 17 and 18. We're continuing in kind of the judgments here. Last week, I believe it was Moab that we went through. We had Assyria, Babylon, all these. And so it's just continuing on. And this week, we're going to be talking about Damascus. And what mine says is Sudan. Y'all may say something a little bit different. But to ask your Bible study questions, you got to get them in early. Simply go to our website again, which is www.thetcog.com. Select TCOG Streaming, and you can make a comment or ask your Bible study questions right there. Update to our announcements. The website has been updated. Ron, correct? We're still good? Yeah. All right. And all the forms should be functional at this time. So if you tried in the past, try again. We should be good to go. We've gotten all the errors, well, we think we've got all the errors corrected, and it should be fixed now. Ron's going to be doing more updates on other parts of the site, so it always gives you a thrill to come and see what we've changed on there. Also, the church phone number has now changed. It is 254-975-0099. In the past, we just used Ron's private cell number, and that got a little busy for him. Also, if he didn't recognize the number, he just let it go thinking it was spam. So now, we still get the spam, don't get me wrong, but at least we've got something that he can answer a little bit easier on there. And that number again, 254-975-0099. And now, on your screen, you should see the prayer list for this week. If you would please keep everybody on this list in your thoughts and prayers, along with their family members. I know that they would greatly appreciate it. And keep me, because I've got allergies going for some reason this week. I don't know what's going on. I got to church, and just all of a sudden, I don't know if you could hear it, it just clogged up. So we're going to try to make it through here a little stopped up. But now we'll go ahead and go into our Bible study. Again, we're going to be covering Isaiah 17 and 18. We might as well just start in Isaiah 17 first today. I'm reading out of the Names of God Bible. My subtitle on here says, Damascus and Israel will be punished. And everybody ready? We'll just start in verse 1. This is the divine revelation about Damascus. Damascus will no longer be a city. It will become a pile of rubble. The cities of Ariel will be deserted. The cities will be used for sheep, which will lie down in them. There will be no one to disturb those sheep. Fortified cities will disappear from Ephraim. The kingdom will disappear from Damascus. The remaining few from Aram will share Israel's honor, declares Yahweh Sabaoth. When that day comes, the honor of Jacob's people will fade away. They will become skin and bones. That time will be like harvesting bundles of grain by the armful. It will be like gathering grain in the Rephaim Valley. Only a few people will survive. They will be like an olive tree that has been beaten. Only 2 or 3 olives are left at the top of the highest branch. 4 or 5 olives on the rest of the branches, declares Yahweh Elohim of Israel. And when that day comes, they will look to their Maker, and their eyes will look to Kadosh Israel. They won't look at the altars made by their hands, or the Asherah poles, or incense altars which their fingers molded. When that day comes, the fortified cities, which other people abandoned because of the Israelites, will be like the abandoned woods and the undergrowth, so it will become a wasteland. You have forgotten Elohim of your salvation. You haven't remembered the rock, your stronghold. Instead, you have planted the best plants. You have set out the imported grapevines. On the day you plant, you will make it grow. On the morning you set out the seedling, you will make it sprout. But the harvest will become a rotting pile on a day of grief and incurable pain. How horrible it will be for many people. They will roar like the roaring sea. The noise that the people make will be like the noise from rushing waters. The people will make noise like raging water, but Elohim will yell at them. They will run far away. They will be chased away like husk on the mountains being blown by the wind, like whirling dust being blown by a storm. In the evening there will be a sudden terror. Before morning they will be gone. This will be the fate of those who looted us, the destiny of those who robbed us. All right. Now, I do have a real quick comment before I get to questions. So when in verse 13, when it talks about they will be chased away like the husk on the mountains being blown. So I live in the farmland, and they're cutting corn, and I know exactly what they're talking about right now because we have a corn husk flying around everywhere. All right. Sorry about that. What kind of comments, questions do we have? Nobody? Oh, I got Ron. He beat you to it. What you got, Ron?
Well, when it talks about Damascus being totally destroyed, Damascus is one of the oldest cities in the Middle East, and it's never been destroyed before.
Right.
So this is
A future prophecy. Yeah, no, I was actually reading my notes. My notes here says Damascus is mentioned multiple times in the Bible, appearing in both the Old and New Testaments. It's the most famously known, or is most famously known in the New Testament for Paul's conversion on the road to Damascus. In the Old Testament, Damascus is mentioned in connection with Abraham, King David, King Solomon, and is also subject to prophetic passages, notably Isaiah 17, which we're going through right now. I had heard it was the oldest mentioned city in the Bible. Still around, right? You know, you got exactly. Continuous city. Yeah, so to Ron's point, that verse 1 has not completely been done. Now, the people of Syria, which occupied Damascus, and Damascus is the capital of, were destroyed, right? But the city remained, and so that's still a prophecy that's yet to be here. Great comment. What other comments, questions we got? Yes, ma'am.
When it's talking about the time will be like harvesting bundles of grain, like it was gathering grains in the valley.
Rephaim Valley?
Rephaim Valley. What is that referring to?
So that's referring to, so in this part, in verse 5, and actually verses 3 through, I think, 7 or 8, it's actually referring to Israel. It says Ephraim. Ephraim's synonymous, if I could say that word, synonymous with Israel, the northern tribes. So it's talking about the northern tribes here, because remember, they teamed up with Syria, which is Damascus. So this is talking about the northern tribes and Damascus in this chapter here, because they teamed up together. Remember, the Judah was trying to team up with, I can't remember who Judah. They were trying to team up with somebody, and God said, don't do it. Assyria. Yes, thank you so much. Assyria. They were trying to team up with Assyria, and northern tribes had already teamed up with Syria, not Assyria, Syria to the north, to try to defend themselves from Assyria on there. And so what they're talking about in this particular verse, in verse 5, is, they're going out to gather all this great crops that they went and planted, because in the previous verse, I think, let's see, where's it at? Is it 4? No. When it talks about planting, but actually that may be a little later. So they're going to go out to harvest all this grain, and they're not going to have any bounty. It's going to be very, very sparse, almost like a famine, right? Kind of like it saw in Egypt. So they're going to do all the work and expect to get this great harvest because they're God's people, but they haven't been listening and doing God's stuff. So what they're going to get is nothing, very little. And that's where you're going to have people that, where it again gives an example in verse 6 where it says you have an olive tree, that like you're going to go out to your olive tree, and it's going to be like it was already beaten. Like there's only, even if you go and shake the tree, there's still a couple olives left. That's what it's going to be like. It's going to be so sparse. Yes, sir.
Well, isn't that also prophetic as to the end time when Christ returns and does his harvest, that there won't be that many people?
That is very prophetic about that. Absolutely. So you've got all these people, to Ron's point, is this also the duality that we've been talking about through this whole book, is the duality of when the Messiah comes back to gather his people. It's going to be sparse, right? There's not going to be this voluptuous tree bearing all this fruit that it should be, because people turn away, go away, stop following, believing in God. And that was very interesting in verse 8 here. It says, because remember again, in verse 8, they're still talking about Ephraim, still talking about Israel. So it says they won't look to the altars they made by their hands, or the Asheroth poles or incense. So they've already gone into their territories and started erecting these Asheroth poles. Asheroth is a fertility goddess of the Canaanites on there. So they've already adopted the pagan religion of the Canaanites that they were told to drive out on there. And so this is particularly talking about, this is why, you already did this. The one before it says, in verse 7 it says, when that day comes, then they'll look to their maker, right? Then their eyes will look to Kadesh Israel, which is the Holy One of Israel. And they won't look to their altars, meaning they have done it already. Yes, sir, ma'am. Oh, I'm sorry, Johnny, I'll get you 1 second.
In verse 7, I was reading through the Hebrew names
Uh-huh.
version, and it says, when that day comes, they will look to their maker, and their eyes will look, wrong one. In that day, the men shall look to their maker, and their eyes shall have respect to the Holy One of Israel.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's a very good way. So that was in, what book is that in? Excuse me. It's in the Hebrew names version in verse 7. That last part, it says, their eyes will have respect for the Holy One of Israel, which the Kadesh Israel is just, it actually means the Holy One of Israel. So the respect part, yeah. The belief now, okay, now we are trusting in God again. And that's been the problem here with these northern tribes of Israelites, and even the Judah, is they were looking outside God for help. They went to Syria. Judah's tribe went to Syria to try to get help to fight their battles when they should be relying on God. And they also did their Asherah poles and everything else on there. We saw last week when in Moab, and it was talking about when they go to they're going to go pray at all their little temples and everything, and it's not going to work. It's the false pagan idols, basically, they're causing a lot of their problems. Let me get to Johnny real quick, and then I get over to you, Ronnie or Robert.
Yes, there on verse 5.
Verse 5.
Okay, towards the end there mentioned about the valley of Rephaim.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that valley there is very fertile. So then, well, where this place is located is southwest of Jerusalem and extends towards Bethlehem. So you're saying that these plants or fruit plants or whatever that's there is only not producing enough fruits.
Right. They're saying in 5 specifically, the time will be like harvesting bundles of grain by the armful, and they'll be gathering grain like Rephaim. So that's your point. It's very fertile around there, right? So it's supposed to be like that, but it doesn't, because I found it here just a minute ago when it's in verse 10. It says, "You have forgotten the Elohim of your salvation. You haven't remembered the rock, your stronghold. Instead, you have planted the best plants and have set out imported grapevines. On that day you plant them, you'll make them grow. On the morning you set out the seedling, you will make it sprout. But the harvest will become a rotting pile." On there. Sorry, Gary.
Okay, saying that God done something to that soil. I mean, on that soil, you need nutrients, you need ingredients for it to produce fruit. Without it, all you're going to have just a plant, just a tree.
Or no rain.
Or no rain. Well, also on there, I'll get to you 1 second, Ron, and Robert, I haven't forgotten about you. But also on there, remember, the reason that they're going to be taken captive and go to Babylon is because they didn't participate in their land Sabbaths. The land Sabbath is what refertilizes your land.
People not being there to harvest and the upkeep is
Right.
not there.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean the land is going to waste.
Exactly. And that's what it talks about when the cities will be used for sheep, which will lie down. They just, you think about it, if you took a bunch of sheep, put them in downtown Temple right now, that they would not be able to lie down and do their grazing, right? But it's going to be desolate. Nobody's going to be around to disturb these sheep. Let me get, I think Ron's got a comment on that specific, and then I'll get right back to you, Robert. Go ahead, Ron.
Well, it could be nuclear fallout from the destruction of Damascus.
Could be that too. All right, Robert, what you got?
Verse 11.
Verse 11.
Yeah. On that day you will plant, you will make it grow. On the morning you set out the seedling, you'll make it sprout, but the harvest will become a rotting pile on a day of grief and incurable pain. It's kind of like what's going on in the past and what's going on right now in Gaza. They're sending in just truckloads and truckloads and truckloads of food. But the evil people are gathering up all the food and starving the actual citizens.
Yeah.
And they've done it in Sudan, they've done it in all places of Africa, and now they're doing it in Gaza. They've done it everywhere. So I'm not saying that's the same exact thing, but it's kind of like that. We
Yeah.
have a certain group of people, small group of people, they gather up all the food and don't let anybody have it. Whatever is available.
Right.
Doesn't
Make it to the end user.
exactly. So I'm not saying that that's exactly what this is getting at, but it could work out that way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a good point on there. I'm gonna get Ron. He beat you this time. Are you gonna follow up on? Actually, Ron, hold on. I'm gonna get Johnny because he wants to follow up on that real quick.
Yeah, I've heard, the Israelites there in Israel are coming out to Gaza, bringing their food, with them to provide it to them, by the truckload.
I heard. I think it's either 80 or 90% of the aid that's been delivered was from Israel on there.
Instead of just, bringing a truckload and dropping it off, no, people are there, themselves and providing this food to the Palestinians.
Right.
That's going to be the only way they're going to be able to get the food.
If it's protected, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get to Ron real quick. Great comment on that.
Well, I was just looking at this down here in verse 13 where it says, Elohim will yell at them. And I'm thinking to myself, what's that going to sound like?
Well, remember when he spoke to them kindly at the mountain. They were like, no, no, no. And this says it's going to yell at them. That's a whole different level on there, exactly. Because and well, I take it back. You know how somebody gets excited sometimes, they can get overly. Maybe that's what he did at Mount Zion and or at
What you talking about?
yeah, Mount Sinai, where he got a little overly excited and got his voice up a little bit. That's what scared him. I don't know. I'm just saying. Yes, sir.
Well, it kind of goes back to when his return, he says he's going to return with a shout,
Oh yeah.
and the dead will rise in Christ. So I guess it'll either scare them to death or bring them back to life.
Yeah, that's a good comment. What other comments we got? Johnny, did I miss you on one?
Oh, no, well, I can continue.
Yeah,
on.
go ahead and continue.
I mean, talking about Damascus, you know, like you mentioned, it's the oldest continuously inhabited city in the world, and it's located on a plateau overlooking Barada River, and its positions on a major trade route. That's the thing. It's a trade route.
It's a trade route. I'm glad you said that. Ron, would you pull up number 1 or the first one?
Let me get there.
Because I did get a map, but I've been talking this whole time. I forgot to have them pulled up.
And,
But go ahead while we
but-
try to get
and
that
also-
up there.
And also, that other word, A-R, how you say that?
Would you pull up the other Damascus one? Sorry.
Aram?
Are you talking about in verse 2 or verse
Verse 2,
Okay.
A-R-O-E-R.
A-R-O-E-R? Yeah, Aurora?
Aurora, yeah. Okay.
That's how I said it. That's probably wrong, but
Okay. Yeah, that's another, well, there's 3 areas where that can be,
we Googled the same thing. I saw that.
yeah, Nagav, or it could be a Galid or Ornan, three.
Yeah, 2 of them are west, east
Yeah.
of
East of-
the Dead Sea.
This, yeah.
And kind of between Moab and Aram area on there, up in the mountains in there. And one is further away from the Dead Sea, and one is actually semi close to the Dead Sea. And then, from my understanding, correct me if I've got this wrong, the third one is in Ephraim.
Well, no, Negev and Gilead and Ornan. That's the only 3.
Okay, that's what yours are showing? Okay.
One might be another one, but I don't know. I mean, you might be right.
So this is, I'm sorry, let me just point this out real fast.
Okay.
So this is a map of the different tribes in the area during Isaiah's time frame. So remember we were talking about Damascus, and it's actually in the kingdom of Aram on there, Damascus. Also, it is the Syrian people. Then you got the kingdom of Israel, the kingdom of Judah down below in the pink. You can see the Philistines to the left in the red. And you see where Moab and Ammon are. What? So now we kind of know the position. So
Yeah, Arnon is over here at the kingdom of Moab.
yeah, you see where Dibon is, where the little star is in Moab. That's fairly close
Yeah, fairly close to that.
to Arar.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
There.
You could say what colors you're talking about, because I can't read.
Oh, I thought I did. It said the pink is Judah, and I can't do my thing here.
Purple is
Let me switch over.
No, that's okay. It's actually, I think it's easier to see when it's larger.
Yeah, if,
Um,
like, almost full screen, we can read it.
Well, I gotta do something.
And I don't have to point it out. I can just talk about it. Because I'm not very good at the weather, man.
need practice.
I need practice, exactly.
You haven't gone to meteorology school yet.
I have not. I have not passed, that's for sure. So the dark blue is Israel. Oh, actually, I'm there. Yeah. So the dark blue is Israel, the northern tribe. You've got Judah, which is the pink area right here.
Yeah.
We've got Palestine, the Palestinian people.
Okay.
And actually, all right, so I'll just do the bottom first. You got Edom in yellow, Moab in purple, Ammon in orange, and actually I'm gonna go orange, and then up above is, you can see Damascus is the star at the top. Will you lower it down just a little bit, because we don't really need the lower kingdoms as much as the upper ones. There we go. So you've got Assyria, which is actually right on top of Syria, Assyria and Syria. So Assyria is right onto the north and northeast of the kingdom of Damascus, which is Syria. So that's why Syria and the kingdom of Damascus joined up with Israel for protection against Assyria up in that top left-hand or top right-hand corner right there. Does that make sense? And so this chapter is covering not only Damascus in this aqua color. Is that the right word? Aqua? Oh, nice. That was a good guess. Aqua color, but it's also covering Israel, excuse me, which is they refer to as Ephraim on there. So these two countries, I keep trying to point at it, but these two countries here are actually the ones that we're talking about in this particular chapter.
Which one is Manasseh?
Manasseh. So this has actually changed a little bit since when they first went in, right? So Manasseh had two different locations. One was on the east side of the Jordan. So you had Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh. And then Manasseh also had a northern tribe, but then it also had one, I think it was right in the middle on there. Little small spots in the promised land. So this is not showing the individual tribes. I said Ephraim because that's what it's referred to in here when it talks about in verse 3, disappear from Ephraim. So it's talking about Ephraim, which is synonymous with Israel, which is also synonymous with the northern 10 tribes, which is also synonymous with Jacob's people, right? So we're going to see all those different terms, but that's the area that we're talking about. And then you got Judah, right, which is in the pink down here. Okay? So when they talk about Judah, this is Judah. When it talks about Israel, it's the northern 10 tribes, Ephraim. Okay? Or they could be talking about Jacob or Israel, and in the bigger context, we could be all of them together. So it's a little confusing sometimes.
Yeah.
You have a comment, question?
Okay. Yeah, now getting back to Aurora. Okay.
Okay, we're back to Aurora, which is where Dibon is.
Okay.
It's roughly in this area right here.
Yeah, that's close to that area there.
Yeah.
Now, Gilead,
Gilead?
Yeah, Gilead, Gilead is further, up in that area.
Just to the north of, I forgot what sea this is, the Sea of Galilee.
Sea of Galilee,
Yeah.
yes. And the other one is Negev.
Okay, Negev.
Negev.
So there was, when I was doing the research, I gotta go left. Okay, when I was doing some research, we had Dibon, which was one, and then one closer to the coastline here. Now, Negev, I don't see it highlighted on the map, but I know we've talked about it before, but I don't remember exactly where it's at.
I think that's in
toward the
Judah.
bottom, isn't it?
Toward the bottom?
Yeah, toward Judah,
Down by the Dead Sea.
Down by the Dead Sea? Okay.
in that region. But the one we're talking about is Arnon, because that's going to be one where the marketplace or the King's Highway.
Remember they had the King's Highway that I believe went from Damascus through Ashtaroth, right down through this area, and then
all the way through
back to me. I'm no good at that, but
Aurora.
it went right that way.
all the way down to Aurora.
Aurora, okay?
Okay, and Damascus was the King's Highway connecting Egypt with Asia Minor and Mesopotamia, and also it's the capital of Syria. And for
Right, because remember
Aurora-
when the Israelites came in, they came in down here. They wanted to take the King's Highway to go up. But Edom and Moab would not let them, so they had to go outside of those two countries and go up.
Yes. And then
Because
Aurora-
I'm just going to real fast because
Okay.
so it went from Damascus and straight down. Where we go? If I can move, yeah, there I can move, and then back here
Exactly.
to Egypt. Which we've got another map where I'll Actually, see if you can pull up the Sudan one. We'll just go ahead and show that because it shows a larger area. Sudan, I believe. I don't remember how I labeled it.
Okay. And then I can go.
Oh, go ahead, Johnny. Sorry.
And then Aurora is connecting the Arabian Peninsula to the Mediterranean regions. And the distance between Damascus and Aurora is about approximately 125 miles. It's quite a distance.
That's not very far at all. Texas-wise.
Well, walking is a distance.
Texas-wise, that's not very far, but yeah, walking is a long way.
And pretty much, nowadays is Jordan, where Aurora is at.
Okay.
First look at
Yeah,
it.
and today Jordan is right here
Mhm.
in this region, just on the other side of the Jordan River.
Yeah.
Let's see. What did I name it, Ron?
Well, I got a Sudan 1 and 2, but I didn't put 1 here. That's the wrong one.
Oh, no.
Hang on, I'm getting
Yes, ma'am.
How big is Israel? It's not very big.
It's not very big. I think it's the size of New Jersey.
It is.
Yes.
Basically,
Yeah.
it's,
Yes.
it's almost even shaped like New Jersey.
Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of shaped like New Jersey, yeah.
It is.
But that's the, and it could be off on that a little bit, but I think it's basically that size on there.
All right.
Like Ukraine, it's basically the size of Texas,
Well,
to give a little bit of context.
they kept telling them that they wanted, this big chunk of land out of Israel to be given to Palestine for their own nation. Well, it would literally make the middle of Israel, I think they said 75 miles wide. We're talking like, that would be like a little pencil from the top. You have this big body at the bottom, big body at the top, and a pencil in the middle. How do you defend that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't defend a 75-mile wide corridor.
Yeah. That's not even the distance, I think, from Waco to Round Rock.
No.
Yeah.
Very close.
So, I mean, that's just impossible. I mean, missiles nowadays, they would go far over it.
Yeah.
Much less in the middle of it. So, yeah, it wouldn't take any kind of ammunition.
Do the second one. I'm sorry.
So did God,
We'll get it.
did God start out intending to just give them that little bit?
Well, you got to think about it today, right? All right. So I've heard this on the news recently. So Gaza has 2 million people in it, right? And when we were talking about the Israelites coming out of Egypt, we were roughly, I think, 3 or 4 million. So if you go, does he pull it down any?
Yeah, I'm just
Nope, it doesn't go more. All right, go back to the Israel one real quick, or the Damascus, and then I have you come back to this one. I just want to get Charlotte's question answered real quick.
trying. Okay.
So we think about 6 million people, 3 to 6 million people as being a whole lot of people, right? So right now, this is. I want to walk over to the TV. It doesn't work that way. So right now, this is Israel right here. This whole section. This is the red one is Gaza, but today's actual Gaza is much smaller than that. It's a very, very, very small piece of property, and it has 2 million people in it. So if you think about the size that's spread out here, it's for 6 million people, it's a lot of land.
It's only about 5 miles long or something.
Yeah, Gaza, right? It's not very big, and that has 2 million people in it. Again, it's very crowded, very highly dense population. And that's not the way he set it up. But they would have had plenty of land for the tribes that went out there. And then they even doubled it by Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh going on the east side of the Jordan. That was a larger territory than what Israel had laid out for them.
But that didn't include, it's not included in Israel. They're the tribes that went outside of it.
Well, they were given that property by Moses. So Moses did give it to them with God's authority, but God's initial intention was to have all of those tribes on the west side of the Jordan River.
Yeah.
So, but nowadays it's just considered the west side.
It's much smaller today than it was originally set up. Yeah.
I'm getting clear.
I don't know. Great questions. Yes, sir.
I think it was Abraham, and everywhere his foot landed was now his domain. Was it Abraham?
No, who's it? Because it was their. It was. I know what you're talking about because they found the footprints right where they.
Footprints are
yeah.
all over the whole Middle East.
Yeah.
I mean, all over what would be called Saudi Arabia was basically.
Yeah. Well, you can't see it here, but Abraham is actually from the Iraq area, which my hand has disappeared. Which, if you go further that way, and then he went to Damascus.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he was from the northeast area, went to Damascus, traveled down, went all the way to Egypt, all
Yep.
through the Sinai Peninsula, everywhere in that area.
And God gave him that domain.
Well, yes, he gave him. I don't know if he gave him all of it. He did take him up to a mountain and said, "All that you see, I'm going to give you." But what mountain did he take him onto, and which side was he looking at? Right.
Yeah.
So technically, yeah. And again, I wasn't there, so I might be wrong. But I heard that, and so yeah, you're right. He gave him all the land that he could see, but I don't know what that pertains. The particulars around that, because if you went on the mountain and could see all the way to the
Anything
ocean.
That's a future claim that at the end times, and I mean after.
Right. And you got to think that God gave them this territory right here, just surrounded by pagans, to be a light.
Yes.
He wanted them to follow their rules so that all these other nations around them who did the Asheroth and who had all these different Baal and Molechs and everything else would go, man, our Peasley gods aren't doing anything. We should follow what Israelites are doing and follow their God. And so he wanted it to be a beacon to be spread out throughout the entire world. But the problem is we're humans, and they've already erected Asheroth poles and other incense and other things around to celebrate or to worship these pagan gods in there, which is why they're getting punished on there. Any other comments, questions? I know I'm running out of time, so I want to get to 18. But if you got one, I'll let you close it out.
No, I'll go into the next.
Okay, perfect.
I got a comment.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
That's why Washington is doing so poorly, because they have one.
Oh man, they do. Yeah, they do. And yep, they didn't give me the responsibility of taking care. So we're going to cover Isaiah 18. It's actually very, very short, but very, very good at the same time. My subtitle, again, I'm reading out of the Names of God Bible, so yours may be different, but mine says, Sudan will be punished. It says, how horrible it will be for the land of whirling wings, which lies beyond the rivers of Sudan. It sends messengers by sea in boats made of reeds, skimming over the surface of the water. Go swift messengers to a tall and smooth-skinned people, a people who are feared far and near, a strong and aggressive nation, whose land is divided by rivers. Look when someone raises a flag on the mountains, listen when someone blows a ram's horn. All you inhabitants of the world who live on the earth, this is what Yahweh says to me. I will keep quiet and watch for my dwelling place. My presence will be like the scorching heat in the sunshine, the heavy dew and the heat of the harvest before the harvest, when blossoms are gone and grapes are ripening from blossoms. He will cut off the shoots with pruning shears and chop off the spreading branches. They will be left for the birds of prey on the mountains and the wild animals. The birds of prey will feed on them in the summer. The wild animals on earth will feed on them in the winter. At that time, gifts will be brought to Yahweh Sabaoth from a tall and smooth-skinned people, a people who are feared far and near, a strong and aggressive nation whose land is divided by rivers. They will be brought to Mount Zion, the place where the name of Yahweh Sabaoth is. All right, remember, Yahweh Sabaoth is basically Lord of Hosts or Lord of Armies. I like Lord of Armies because every time I see it, it's a kind of a military, a strong presence on there. Yes, sir.
Who is the tall and smooth-skinned people?
Oh, that's a great question. Was that you? Did he steal your question? Come on. No. So this is a very interesting part here. And so where was that at? That was on 2. So if you've got another version of the Bible and wouldn't mind reading, tell me what your version says in that. And it's, again, 18 verse 2. Go ahead, Charlie.
That sendeth ambassadors by the sea, even the vessels of the bulrushes upon the waters, saying, Go east with messengers to a nation scattered and filled, to a people terrible from their beginning, in Peritor, a nation meted out and trodden down, whose lands and the rivers have spoiled.
Okay. So that's a different deal. And I don't know, y'all have the Blue Letter Bible app on your phone? It's actually very, very handy. I recommend downloading it because it's basically having a concordance in your pocket on here. And so you can go to this. And actually, I did it this morning, which is why I have it up here. So if I go to verse 2, click on interlinear, and it breaks down each word. It gives you the Hebrew word. It gives you the English word. It also gives you the Strong's number on there. And so when I go here, I get scattered, which is H4900. It says draw, drag, seize, draw, proceed, draw out, trail, cheer. And the very last one, there's a bunch of them, so I recommend going through it. The very last one is to be tall. So that's where mine says, or the Names of God Bible says to be tall. Same way with the word smooth skin. Now, to answer your original question on there, the beginning of the Bible study, mine says Sudan will be punished. So Sudan is synonymous with Cush. Cush, if you look up the word Cush, means black. So Sudan means black, Cush means black, this means black land, people of black color, Ethiopian, right? So Ethiopia, when in the New Testament, when that guy came from the Ethiopia, it used the same word in here. So to get all that to just say, if you bring up my map, I'll show you. It's in Africa on there.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah. And hopefully, there's a close-up yeah, this is the close-up. So in here, you got ancient Kush, which is just south of Egypt. So this is the region that they're talking about. And you have the Sudan. It's also, so it's actually called North Sudan, South Sudan. Now, this particular one says that which lies beyond the rivers of Sudan. So you have the Nile, gigantic river, and then you have all these different feeders that go into the Nile. So this would be the area of the rivers. And so you're actually talking even further south on there. And that's kind of my interpretation of it. This is my interpretation. It could be right there. It could be south. It could be this whole region on there. Yes, sir.
Well, also you got to stop and think that part of the world wasn't as big a desert as it is today.
Right.
Oh, no.
It has expanded quite a bit since in the last 2,500 years.
Yep. Yeah, the Sahara, that's what it is, right? The Sahara? Yeah, it's continually growing. So you could just take it backwards and shrink down the size and see where it would be 2,500 years ago on there by just using the same rates. I know it varies, but there's a longer graph curve. Let me get to Johnny real quick, and then I'll get over to you.
Some research where it says tall and smooth skinned people. Well, what is smooth skinned people? Yeah? But on this translation error possibly, but it says tall and bronze skin.
Okay, that's an interesting one. I don't know if I'm trying to think if I saw that one. I did see. So when I looked that up, it was talking about like shaved head, shaved face, smooth skin, not hairy.
Okay.
But that's that bronze one. That's a pretty interesting one. Like I said, I just haven't seen it.
Yes, because a lot of
Maybe they didn't have facial hair.
Could be like that too. Yeah.
Because like Native American Indians don't have facial hair.
Right.
Yes, one thing you have to remember where all these people came from. They came from Noah.
Right.
Okay, and he had sons, 3. You know, Shem, Joseph.
Shem, Ham,
And Shem,
yeah.
Ham, and
Japheth.
And Japheth. You know, so Ham was pretty much in this region what we're talking about.
Right. That's the
Cush.
theory. So yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I interrupted
yeah, exactly. Well, the grandson of
Cush.
of Noah is Cush. Well, he had several grandsons, you know, besides Cush. Oh, well, did I write that? Oh, yeah, I did. Okay, he had Elam, Ashur. That's when Assyrians derived from Ashur, A-S-U-R. And then there's
Did he? Is he in the line of Japheth?
No, the lineage, that would be, let's see, give me a second. What, you're talking about Ashur? That's
Yeah.
Shem,
Okay.
S-H-E-M. And that's, okay, and so then we have Arameans, Cushites, and Canaanites. You know, these are all Noah's grandsons.
Okay.
So that's what
Yeah, I mean, as we know, we're related to everybody, right?
Yeah.
If you go far enough back, we're related to everybody, and it's just you know, there was 3 sons who had 3 different wives, and when they got off the boat, they all just explored everywhere else, and their families grew, and they kept the traits of everybody that was in that lineage. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, I didn't finish with Johnny real quick. I'll get right back to you.
And mainly, you know, it would be Cham, S-H-E-M, Cham, excuse me, and Ham's, you know, what do you call them?
Offspring?
Offsprings, yes.
Okay.
So.
Or descendants? Well, I think
Just- oh, yeah,
descendants is
more
better,
like-
yeah.
that sounds better.
Yeah.
But Japheth is pretty much, I don't know which way he gone to, further east or further north. I don't know which direction he took.
When we get
Who
to
was the blessed son? Shem?
Shem.
Shem.
Yeah.
From what I understand, he stayed in the mountains of Turkey. In others, he stayed around the Noah's Ark region.
Okay, very interesting. But we can get into that more. Let me get to Ron real quick.
Well, I got a couple of different things.
Uh-oh. You're off. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, one, I did a calculation one time that if every generation, if you put it at 20 years old, or every 20 years is a generation.
You double.
one. Yeah, if you went from the time that Adam and Eve were on the earth till the flood, you could have had as many as 24 billion people in the earth.
Yeah.
If you expanded that out. Well, you stop to think, if Noah and them had 3, if there were, well, you gotta count Noah too, there's 4 couples there. You know, they could have, you know, in a 1,500 year period, you know, stop and think about how many people.
Yeah, it gets up there very quickly, exponentially.
Yeah. The other thing is I got an email from a gentleman.
Uh-huh.
It's not particularly on this subject, but it's kind of interesting. I didn't know, maybe some of y'all would like to help address it. I'll go ahead and read it, and then y'all can decide whether you want to comment on it or not. He said, recently I've been seeing a lot of podcasts from what I believe to be reasonable or respectable and straight shooting people.
So not us.
As well as who are making a point and claiming that modern day Israel and related government is actually not that of the Old Testament Israel days and actually is a satanic government and part of Antichrist's plan. I have not researched a lot of this, but wondering if you can shed some light on the legitimacy of that claim and of the familiar with these claims.
I'll take that offline.
Huh?
I'll take it offline.
Take it offline.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I can address it, but it's a long formats on there. So
Yeah.
I say we'll take that one offline, and we can talk about it during lunch, and then get our response together.
Well, yeah, that's fine. I mean, I just got one quick comment
Yeah.
about it, and then
Yeah, me
y'all
too.
Oh, go ahead.
talking. It's whenever you associate the Old Testament Israel with the modern day Israel, it has nothing to do with what Israel is in the Bible today. Israel is the spiritual people of God. And a physical Israel and Israel today is no different than a German in Germany today or anything else. It's a physical place, physical people, or whatever. Whether that is the same people or not, it doesn't really matter, because it's those who God has called out.
Well, yeah, exactly. And then I will just add on to that too. Even when they came out of Egypt, there was a mass multitude with them, right? When they went into captivity and came back, more people came back with them. There was more people living there when they came back too. So it's a constant blending, exactly.
In others, who they originally were from the very first 12 tribes to the end is completely different group. of people.
Right, exactly. Because you also had them marrying in and out of the the different surrounding areas on there. The God's point on that, when he said, "I don't want you to do that," because he knew when you did that, you would bring in their pagan beliefs,
Yes.
and the pagan beliefs would get their little nose under the tent and then be part of it. That's what's happened. So to make that comment on there, it's and I don't use this term very often, but it's more of a spiritual Israel on here, because it doesn't matter if you are from Texas or Australia or Russia or Sudan or Congo or wherever else. If you're following the laws that he put in the first 4 books of his book of the Bible, first 5 books. All right, we'll add Joshua in there, right? Are you? Which one?
Genesis, Exodus.
And I said, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I can't count. Stop at numbers. That's it. Numbers. No. Yeah. See, I had to count all my fingers there. 5 books. There are the first 5 books of the Bible, and you're following those rules and laws, guidances is a better way to say. Then you're part of their spiritual Israel, and it doesn't matter where you come from or what you look like.
Yeah, if it comes to that, to where, okay, who is the Israel? God's going to know who's the Israel. But remember last week, okay, Israel and the Gentiles, So,
Yeah.
if you follow
It's
the law,
throughout the entire Bible, it's been Israel and everybody else. Remember, the law specifically said, this is for you and the people that are with you. It's not just for you, it's for everybody there. Go ahead, Robert.
I mentioned this before, but right now there is a very large movement in the Sahara Desert to reclaim the desert. And as I mentioned before, it's surrounded by water, so it has underground rivers running through underneath all of that Sahara Desert that is flush with drinking water that can be used, non-salty water. It's just the matter of pumping it out to get it up to the top of the ground, and then to start replanting and generating the soil. So that's already happening, but I saw a comment just the other day about something going on with all the wars and stuff like that, and a person was saying, if we could just put all of our technology and our power into helping humanity instead of destroying humanity, such as, and they brought up the point of replanting, these deserts and making these deserts into forest lands and into croplands. We could feed the whole planet.
Oh, yeah.
No problem. But
Yeah.
but we're forced by the controllers to go to war,
Yeah.
into a war machine all the time. It's always war.
Yep. Ron?
Well, one of my next thoughts on that is they have found lots of cities and ruins in the Sahara Desert that
Yes.
once
They just get covered up.
population,
They're just covered
get
up.
covered up. Yeah.
Yeah. No, wasn't it you talked about the Cedars of Lebanon. I thought that was in that region.
What's that?
The Cedars of Lebanon.
It was.
Yeah. This is giant. Again, when it was we talked about it last week. A tactic of war was when you went somewhere, you would go to their area, cut down all the trees in the forest, and basically make it into a desert land. If you want your underground springs and everything, I've always been told plant trees, because the more trees you plant brings water up, and water evaporates out of the leaves, and it just kind of helps take care of everything on there. But we're getting kind of way off subjects on there, and we can talk more about farming or these other topics after or during our lunch. But is there any more comments or questions specifically on 18?
It kind of lines up, you know what we're talking about, because when I look at this, I'm kind of looking at, when there's water, and you can start a community, and if you do that, and then there's a trade war going on. That's the connection I'm looking at here. There's
Okay.
trade wars, okay? You have Assyrians, you want all these land, but before, Ephraim and Syria, take kind of going to war and take over Assyria, or keep them from in bay.
Right.
There's trade war, cause that area right there close to the Mediterranean, God placed them in a certain place there for Israel, cause they can, bloom, with
Absolutely.
a
He was
lot of
blessing them,
market.
right?
Yes, exactly.
With this area.
Yes.
And again, they would still be blessed. They wouldn't have to go through all these troubles and tribulations if they'd have followed the rule, and they just didn't do it.
Just didn't do it. But
Yeah.
of course, you have all this Syrian. They came in, and Babylon. They came in. It's a big disaster. And God's looking at all this. But now in modern day, He's trying to correct it. Pull here, pull there, trying to make it. These people to, for right now, for these Jewish people that's there, so-called. Believe in Jesus. They're coming around, they're going to want to believe in Jesus now. That's what I'm looking at the news, So
Right.
let's see where it takes us.
Yeah, exactly. Great comments. Any other comments? Yes, sir.
Number 3.
Verse 3. Excuse me. It says, look when someone raises a flag on the mountains. Listen when someone blows a ram's horn. Let's see if I can talk. All you inhabitants of the world who live on the earth.
That says the whole earth.
Yeah.
And then
I'm glad you brought that up. I thought that.
The local inhabitant. So that's a godly ram's horn. That's not a human ram's horn.
Right, and he's basically given a warning to this area, but he's also at the same time giving the warning to everybody on earth. Yeah. Even, as we just saw in the last chapter, even Ephraim, the northern 10 tribes, Israel, he's giving a warning to them. And Judah's coming, don't worry. But this is a global spiritual warning that's going out. He's talking about this land of Cush, the Sudan specifically, but it's because they were a great mighty people. You see it on here. It says feared far and near, strong and aggressive nation. It was a powerful nation.
Well,
Yep.
It goes back to some other things about Africa that I've been learning is that there was a wall in Africa that's far bigger than the wall of China. 16,000 miles around.
Wow.
It's like, well, where's that in our history books? If you're not taught about it, you don't know about it. In other words, this nation was so powerful. There's literally one of the greatest nations on earth. But being down in Africa, it wasn't in the major trade of the
Right.
Mediterranean and all that.
That's what Johnny's point on the trade
Exactly.
routes.
Yeah, so it wasn't in the middle of the trade routes, so it wasn't known. And so he gets buried by the desert, gets lost in the jungles and all that, and all of a sudden it's just gone, and no one knows about it.
Yeah. No, very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Johnny.
Yes, there, verse 7.
Verse 7.
What he's talking about.
Uh-huh.
There it says, at that time gifts will be brought to Yahweh Sabaoth from a tall and smooth, well, I would say bronze people, a people who are feared far and near, a strong and aggressive nation whose land is divided by river. This Ethiopian or Sudan, which is in that region, I mean, they're far away. Well, Assyria doesn't really want to go that far into Ethiopia. It's just too much of a distance to send military down there.
They would do it for money, though.
Well,
For
okay.
gold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, sorry.
That's the thing I was going to bring up too. It's just that they're going to bring a gift. You know, in that region it has gold and some other material that's very valuable too. Oh yeah.
They got diamonds. They got everything.
The elephant.
The ivory?
Ivory. Yeah, they have the ivory and all this. So there's money to be made
Yeah,
there. You know.
exactly.
I mean, that's what I say. There's like a trade war going on. You know. So.
Well, a lot of it too is, I mean, you're 100% correct. It's for the enrichment of the king, right?
Exactly,
It's the
yes.
main thing, but it's also for dominance. So a lot of, attitudes at that level is, I want to dominate everything.
Exactly.
I want to take over everything. So that's what
Right.
Rome did, right? And they didn't even care what you believe. They said you can do your own thing.
Yeah.
You're just now part of Rome,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And so they just wanted to get their cut off of everything that came in.
It's kind of like Babylon, but different.
Yes.
Similar but different.
Yeah. No. Great point on
I
there.
guess there's some pride, into the mix here.
Exactly.
So, I'm the biggest, baddest king, So
Exactly.
you know,
And it's you're the.
come to a
Well, we'll talk about it later.
Oh,
How about?
okay.
Because we just keep on going forever. Let's for our closing song today. Let's turn to page number 38 and stand. And by the way, I'm sorry. Thank y'all very much for the Bible study. It was a very lively and great discussion. I hope you enjoyed it online. Continue to send in your messages. We'll try to get that one answered for you that you sent in. But until then, we'll do page number 38. His mercy never fails. Then we'll have Robert King do our closing prayer. Page 38. No, the choir wasn't ready anyway.
Well, I'm making some kind of noise back there.
Thank you. And now for our closing prayer today, Mr. Robert King.
Our great and merciful, glorious God, dear Heavenly Father, please accept our prayers to you and our songs to you. And like the song we just said, we give thanks to you for everything that you do for us. When you answer our prayers, we give you thanks. And even when you do not answer our prayers, we give you thanks because we know that you do all these things for us. And we are thankful for the group that is here today. We're thankful for the people that are online listening, that it would be a blessing in the songs and in the word we study, that we would gain knowledge of your ways, that we would live out our lives for you, and we hope that it would be a blessing to others. We pray for the food that is blessed blessed before us. Please help it to do us good. Give us safe travel home, and for any others that are traveling today, that they would be blessed as well. This we pray in your Son's holy name. So let it be.